Living Proof with Beth Moore is sponsored by Lifeway and the friends and partners of Living Proof Ministries.
Because this month has a special emphasis on motherhood, we are going to do a little something together, a couple of friends and I, that we hope will serve you. Now, this is what I want to say to you. I want to say that if you are a mother or you have ever had a mother, we would love for you to tune in because something we're going to share has something to do with you.
And you know what, something you said to me, this is years ago, it's just coming back to my mind, but you said to me, say yes as much as you can.
Yes.
Let the no's be the
Yes.
serious no's.
That's right. Yes.
But you know what, like even right now, I said, Jerry, I think I want to put some picture frames above the boys' beds and just let them write with marker within the frame.
Right.
Just let them write on their walls.
That's right.
Because why not?
That's right.
You know, who
I
cares?
love that.
You know,
That's right.
it's
I
like,
absolutely
just
love
say
that.
yes as much as you can say
That's right.
yes, but then say no on the things that are concrete.
Yes,
Give them
that's
lots
right.
of
So that
freedom.
you stay with them, and so
Yeah.
that you can say how many things have I said yes to.
Right.
I am such a strong believer in as much as we are able, having a fun home where
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
lots of
Yes.
laughter.
Yes.
I wanted so much for my kids to understand that God is our boss. Yes, he is Lord, he is master, he is the creator of the heavens and the earth.
Right.
He is fully in charge, and as
Right.
they are called to obey their father and I, we submit ourselves to God.
Right.
He is the authority. That's
Right.
all there is to it. But I also wanted them to somehow know, and want you guys to kind of enter into this with me, that he is the biggest blast of my
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want my children to not only love Jesus, I want them to love loving him.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
them to think, I ask mothers
Yeah.
from time to time, just when we get to have casual conversation, and I can bring it up some way that is just not too confrontational. Are we setting a pattern before our children? Do they see something in us they want to do and they
Right.
want to be?
Right.
Because if we are just constantly pounding them with God, and and listen, we want that to be the entire theme of our lives.
Yeah.
Right.
But if he is always someone about to get them and
Punitive.
about
Yes. Yes.
to come down on them, then what we've done, they're looking at us and thinking, why would I want what
Right.
you have?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't see any
You're in a
joy
bad
in
mood
you.
all the time. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Do they want my
Right.
my lifestyle? Do they want that kind of relationship? One of my very favorite parenting verses is out of Deuteronomy 6. And it says, I'm gonna read to you guys. You would know it. So many of our viewers may be familiar with it, but I just love it. It says in Deuteronomy 6, verses 5 through 7, it says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. I love that it starts with heart, soul, with all your might. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. I want to come back to that. You shall teach them diligently to your children and shall talk of them when you sit in your house and when you walk by the way and when you lie down and when you rise. And I love that. A couple of things I love best about it. It starts with love.
Right.
If a mom or someone even in the role of parenting that didn't even mean to show up in the role of parenting,
Right.
that's where they find
Right.
themselves.
Right.
A dad, anyone, when it comes to parenting, that really is the watchword, because it says the most important thing is that I just love God, that Lord, come and make my heart full of yours. And I ask this, it's not something that gets done once. I ask this over and over again. I know you guys do too. Lord, give me a heart to love you.
Right.
Because if
Right.
you will take over my heart, that if I love you first, when he said this is the priority commandment, that you love the Lord your God. This is then in Mark chapter 12 in the New Testament, with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength,
Right.
and then you love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
Then if I'll love, and we don't have a closer neighbor than our kids.
That's right.
If they're living
That's
in the
right.
house, that's a mighty close neighbor.
That's right.
That if I will love him first, it is like, it's almost sanctifying that love before it pours out secondarily on others. I kind of see that as the fountain going
Like a
up.
filter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so if directing that 10 verse, falling down like waters upon those that I love, that I'll parent out of that love.
I never want Missy to feel like I'm my mama's hope. She's not my hope. Jesus is my hope.
right.
She's not my joy. Jesus is my joy. Missy is a joy.
huge.
She's a gift, but I don't want her to ever feel the emotional responsibility of I'm all my mama has. She
Yes.
is God's, other than my salvation, she's the second greatest gift in my life, but she is not my living hope. Jesus is. So I was real intentional
I
about
want you to pause there because I think you just spoke a word over somebody.
Who's
That
waiting on
is
on
huge.
their kids.
And that is the most powerful gift you could even give your child.
if you use your child as a reciprocal for joy and your fulfillment and your purpose, first of all, your kid's going to be really, really crooked and they're going to have this misshapen view of God as a parent. And secondly, what are you going to do when they go to college? And so it's like, love them. But again, that's part of being a parent. And again, I'm old, so I'm making every mistake known to mankind. But I saw women and I thought, you're putting too much emotional pressure on your kids to be your everything.
I want somebody to have this minister to them today.
Yeah.
Because this I can say, I can't, from my personal experience, tell a young mom, advise her and counsel her how to raise, for instance, a special needs child. We three may not be able to speak into some of the dynamics that some people have, some moms and dads have out there. Perhaps I've not experienced having a child that is tested in the spectrum of autism. I don't know. I have many friends that raise special needs children, and but I have not done it on my own, so I can't speak straight into that. But this I know, ladies, this I'm positive of. Whatever the dynamic is, God can empower you to be an effective, loving parent. Not perfect, an effective, loving parent. There is literally no dynamic He does not understand. We can even pray. I want to really call our parents to prayer. Because I just go. Sometimes I go back to that same thing because I know it sounds so like it's too easy or that's always the answer, but actually it really is the answer. When I just say, have you asked God for that? When someone says, I just wish I had more support. When I'm thinking of all the people you have in your life, all the aunties that Missy has, you have a lot of support. There are moms that we are serving today that don't have that same support. Pray for it. God, raise me up some support.
Ask for it. Be open to go, I need help. I'm barely putting one foot in front of the other here.
Go to your church.
That's
Ask.
right.
If you don't have a church, find
right.
one, a Bible teaching church. Go there and say, do you have a system? Do you have some women that meet together that I could just say, I really could use some help here? What is the whole children's ministry
And
like?
if they don't have a single mom's ministry, why wouldn't you say, Lord, did you put that on my heart? Because it might be that I need to get 10 women together where we do Bible study together every now and then, but then we also now have a network to help each other with dinner every now and then, or watch the kids every now and then, or watch.
We'll return to the conversation in just a moment, but we thought we'd give you the opportunity to get to know a little bit more about Beth, Priscilla, and Lisa. This week, our sponsors at Lifeway are offering a special bundle with work from all three. Priscilla Shirer is a popular conference speaker and author whose focus is helping us know the truths of Scripture intellectually, but also to experience them practically. In her book, Life Interrupted, Priscilla introduces us to the life of Jonah, a man with a tendency to run from interruptions. Priscilla calls us to ponder what we might be missing when we run from God. The bundle also includes Hebrews, The Nearness of King Jesus by Lisa Harper. Lisa is a gifted communicator. She writes and speaks using colorful pop culture references that connect the dots between the Bible era and modern life. In this study, Lisa leads us across the bridge between the Old and New Testaments to get to the heart of the matter. Jesus is our accessible King, not a faraway God, but an up-close Redeemer who draws near, regardless of our circumstances. Last but certainly not least, Feathers from My Nest, a book that reveals a reflective and personal side of Beth Moore, a collection of vignettes, a celebration of family life from babies to carpools to teenagers. This book will tug gently on the sentimental heartstrings of any parent. This specially priced bundle will make a great present for that special mom in your life, but it's only available at our website for a limited time. So visit bethmoore.org/TV today.
I can't even begin to tell you what an honor it is to serve you. We've tried so hard to think about how to serve you best. One of the things we wanted to do is find a way that you could have some kind of aid in your walk with Christ 24/7, that any time you could get on a website and you could look for different things that you may need to encourage you in your walk. So here's what we've done. We've prepared a TV landing page where you can come and you can check out our prayer wall. That's a place where you can jot down online your requests, things that are really weighing heavy on you, places where you could really use some help in your walk. We'd love to be able to intercede in your behalf. You'll also find how to have peace with God, how to begin to get to know Him, what it means to have peace with our Creator. We'd love to share that with you. You'll also find Lifeway's resource items. Listen, whatever theme, whatever place in life, whatever season you may be in, there is some kind of resource there that will help you along the way, how to live through your challenges and your everyday life victoriously with Jesus Christ.
Are you leading a small group? Here you can find select episodes from Living Proof, along with some other video content that you can use in your small group. You'll also find study guides there. That way you and your small group can really dig in and share with each other what God is teaching you through His Word.
We also have an opportunity for you to be part of our Living Proof Live events. Those are many of the things that you see in our broadcasts. We'd love for you to be part of it live. If we're coming to a city near you, please come be part of it. We would love so much to serve you there. Thank you so much for letting us have the privilege. Before we finish up the time we have gotten to have together as moms, talking about being moms and parenting and inviting some dads along and hoping they got something out of it. You know what? If even to know that if they didn't feel like their mom was that great a mom, well, listen, it's a hard role.
Oh, heavens,
just
that's
like just like being a father, it is a tough role. But I wondered if somebody needed to hear this. When I was at the church where I got to attend for so many years, I'm at my son-in-law's church and have been for 4 years now and love it so much. When I was at one church for nearly 30 years prior to that, and we had an event often in the spring around Mother's Day that was called Mothers and Others. And I thought it was such a profound opportunity because you could either bring your mother or you could bring your other. And that's somebody that was sort of a mom-like figure to you, if not just flat out, this is my mom. This is my adopted mom at this point because maybe their mom had passed away. Maybe for whatever tragic reason they were estranged, whatever it might have been. But I really want to speak to some others. I want to say to some people that might have been like any of us that had not had the privilege of having them under our roof in our home. I still, if say, for instance, the doctors had been right, I would not have been able to have children without a lot of medical intervention. What if I never would have gotten to have children? What might I have done with that love I had for being around kids? There are so many opportunities. There are so many kids, so many young moms that need someone to come beside them, really, really good auntie figures that are coming alongside them. There are also just some things that you've got your mother for, but sometimes there are things you can tell your other that you can't tell your mother. Sometimes, because I had an other, after my mother passed away, every time when we had this event, I would take my other. And I loved her so much, but even when they were both alive, sometimes I could tell my other something that would help me get some insight on my mother.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
These are beautiful people to have in your
That's
life.
right.
I want to make sure somebody knows that it's not just about children, because you may say, well, how am I going to go, like say, can I be an other to your 7-year-old? I want to make sure that somebody knows how many young women there are out there that are looking
For some others.
Desperate. Desperate for others.
you guys.
Yep.
Desperate
Yep.
for mentors,
Yep.
desperate for spiritual mothers and big sisters. Everybody can be an other. And in that way, you still get the opportunity. It does something fulfilling. I have 2 daughters that I've gotten to raise. And I have a number of daughters in the faith that I've just gotten to be sort of an other to. Girl,
I'm
and
grateful.
I wouldn't trade this girl for anything in this world. And I never would have said that because I would have never been that presumptuous. But, you know, a beautiful thing about it is she had a very active mom. I had very active daughters. But we met something in one another.
And you can see it, and you can see the fruit of it. in
It's
both of
really
you. It's
interesting.
beautiful.
And I tell her all the time, I would not have missed her for anything on earth. There wouldn't have been another one out there exactly like this one to me. So listen, if you're not a mom, don't get that on you.
That's
If
right.
you're not a mother, you
That's
can
right.
still be an other.
And another
that's
isn't
true. That's
less
so good.
than.
No.
I mean, that's the beauty of it. Sometimes you get to be both, but there's something about being an other that's such a high calling.
You know, I was thinking about being here in Houston last night before coming to you, with you guys this morning. I was visiting my niece who lives here in Houston. She has just had a baby girl, so I'm a great aunt now to this sweet little 3-week-old baby girl.
Best.
And so my sister now is a grandmother. And so I'm watching my sister now driving between Dallas and Houston, because she's still mothering. My sister's still mothering her 3 boys that are the same ages as my 3 boys. But she has this grown daughter who now has this baby girl. So I'm watching my sister step into the role of granny. And by the way, we are having so much fun calling her Meemaw and Granny and Nana.
I bet you
Yeah,
are.
it's been so fun.
As always.
Yes.
Yes.
But I'm watching her. I'm helping my niece with this little baby, and I'm watching my niece Karis ask her mom, "Wait, should I nurse her now? Should I wait? Should I? Does she sleep like this? Should I? You know?" And my sister, being a grandmother, and not just saying, "Oh, you're grown now. You don't need my help," and kind of stepping away, but being a full-on other. Being a full-on grandmother, because I'm watching my adult niece need her mama to still be her mama, even though she's grown. And I was just thinking about all the grandmothers who just need to know their value and their worth and their importance in the life of a grown woman who just needs her mama.
It's a beautiful thing to have adult children. So much laughter, so much of a connection that you have on a new level. But I have not found that my daughters need me any less. They just need me for different things. They need me to be a listener sometimes instead of a talker. They need me to suggest instead of insist. The role changes as that esteem of adult to adult takes place in the new dynamic. But I would not trade anything for getting to still have such relationship with those adult children. I also want to say the same thing about an older woman who may be in the grandparent stage of life but doesn't have any grandchildren. Listen, find some.
That's right.
Find
That's
some.
exactly right.
They're out there. I'm constantly hearing people say, I just wish somebody would just come along that cared and that had a maternal kind of love
And maybe
toward
has some
me.
time on their hands now at this
right.
season of their life that
That's
a busy
right.
mom and dad don't.
That's
They've
exactly
got
right.
this retired person who just would love
Give
to be a
anything.
part. Oh my goodness.
Give anything to.
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure before we end our time together that if you guys have anything that you think, if this ends and I did not get to say this about parenting, I'm going to be so mad. Anything else on your heart?
You know what? I do want to say this. There's a woman, a teacher named Debbie Titus that taught me something years ago I will never forget. She said, she talked about in Exodus 25, God is giving Moses directions for the building of the tabernacle and setting everything up. And there's this one verse that concentrates on the table and says that the bread of the presence is to be on the table. her whole teaching is about how so much of the presence of God is missed in our homes because we refuse to sit around that table and prioritize time together. I probably heard that message 15 years ago. I've never forgotten it. Just the idea of whether we've cooked it or not, prioritizing the togetherness that only happens when we sit around that table. So even as my boys are getting bigger, and everybody's demands are pulling us separately, we just are trying to highlight and prioritize several times a week, making sure we are not interrupted. And then sort of making a big deal about it. I remember part of her teaching was about not always using the paper plates. Like what exactly are, who is the special person you're saving the china for? Like let's actually pull that out and use it for the special people that live in our home. And so, you know, my big old boys, Jerry always wants to use the paper plates. And I'm like, no, you know what, babe, we're actually going to use some glassware and some flatware. And I light those candles in the middle of the table. And we sit around there, even if it's over some hamburger helper and a salad, you know. We're going to have dinner. We're going to talk. We play high-low. What's the high part of your day? What's the low part? You know, what we're grateful for. We go around. Everybody says what they're grateful for about this one person. We just make it our business to be at that table. And I think there's something about the presence of God that is experienced in a practical way with your family when you highlight the beauty of the table.
I think that's
I would have been so disappointed had you not brought that up. That is beautiful because that, let's just admit, it's not hard. There are some things that are really, really hard that we have to bring into parenting, but we really can say, even if we're bringing in burgers, we can put them right on the table and everybody sits down. So I love that. You know, we do that. We have, I get to live a lot of life with 4 generations. Now, Keith's daddy did pass away last year, but we still have his mother. She lives right next door to Keith and I, and we've gotten to have them nearby us for many, many years. So we've got that generation, then ours, and then our kids, and then our grandkids. So very often, all 4 generations are around my table. When one part of them comes over, we just open the door and say to everybody, I always say to them, anybody can come. Everybody's invited, but nobody has to, because I don't want them to feel pressured. But the beautiful part of it is that there is a standard place. Anybody else can sit where they want to. But my 10-year-old and 7-year-old grandchildren, we 3 sit in the same place every time. I sit right between them. Right between them. So we have that dynamic at the dinner table. So I could not applaud that enough. It's so important. I love that you even light candles.
I do. Even with those big old boys. I'm like, we're going to have just some beauty in here and make this something that you will remember. What can you do? How can you craft the time so your kids... Listen, I'm thinking of something else too. This lady said to me, you have the privilege of crafting memories for your children. What they will remember as adults. You're doing that right now. So even like just making, I make bread every now and then. And the reason why I make it is because I want my boys to have the memory of the smell of bread. That's why I'm doing it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what memories do I want them to have?
I do that with
Let's do it.
Sliced cookies.
That's right. Perfect. Mine's pound cake.
Because it's a smell.
Pound cake. To them, when they smell, there's a scent. It's a homemade
like
from
home.
scratch. When they walk in, it's that's my mama's love right there. That's what this house at its best is going to smell like pound cake. I love that. I had not thought about that, but that's absolutely true. Lisa, anything you think, this ends and I didn't say this?
Well, it's very, very simple, and it comes from, knowing, thinking I wouldn't get to be a mom.
Yes.
And I don't think a day has gone by since I brought her home from Haiti almost 2 years ago that I haven't been almost discombobulated with gratitude, because I didn't think I would get to be a mama. So to get to be a mama and to get to be her mama, it still slays me. And on my worst day as a mother, gratitude is what saves us as a little family. And so I think never forget to be grateful that God lets you parent and steward these precious little hearts. Don't let busyness or responsibility or lack of finances or lack of calendar space dissipate the gratitude in your spirit that God let you be her or his mama.
That's good. I absolutely love that. And if we also remember inside that home our gratitude to God first and foremost, nothing compares with that. But with that child,
that stays in trouble a lot, watch for something they did right.
To celebrate. That's
And
right.
then thank them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then thank them. I saw how you did that. You just helped your sister.
Right.
They need affirmation
They
so
do.
bad. That child
That's
that
right.
gets in trouble a lot, gets corrected a lot, they need affirmation so much. So let Thanksgiving be a really big concept
That's right.
in the home. You two have been a blast.
Oh, it's been so much fun.
We want you to know it has been a privilege to serve you. We're going to put up on that screen resource information so that you'll know how to find out. You'll see websites where you can see what resources both Lisa Harper and Priscilla Shirer can share with you. They are fabulous Bible teachers and have so much to bring to the mix. And so we're so thankful. Thank you for letting us be in your homes, in your offices, wherever you have viewed or listened in today. We are so grateful. You guys hang in there with it. God is faithful. He's going to see you through. Bye-bye. I think maybe we have a few little visitors here. There, come on in here. Now, if these are not some great kids, I just don't know. When was the last time you asked yourself this question? Why in the world did I get involved in this situation? Anybody? When was the last time you chided yourself for getting involved in somebody else's life and somebody else's problem, and you got your heart put out there and found yourself at risk? Those are the kinds of questions on the table before us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 3. I think just maybe somebody came together today to lift up the mighty name of Jesus. That's what I think. He has come for us. We think that we have come for him, but I want you to know he came up with this first and he has come for us. And I want somebody coming for me. I am praying today that God is going to shake us up and that he's going to splash his spirit all over us. Oh, let it be, Lord. Let it. I'm in the mood today for Jesus. Let our story be, I love you, Jesus. I love you, Jesus.
Living Proof Live events will tour these cities. We hope you'll be able to join us. For more information, for dates, for times, for locations, visit bethmore.org/TV. Living Proof would like to send you a thank you gift for your donation. Visit bethmore.org/donate.